Today we're going to be looking at this and this, also this one, and I'm going to bring you back some memories of those eras, as well as tell you some detailed stories about them so you will know weird bits of trivia that you can impress your friends with or scare them away. In 1936, a man named Raymond E. Lee, a University of Minnesota graduate who invented the permanent wave hair treatment, moved into a new building that was now named the Raymond Laboratories. Then in 1951, he renamed the company Rayette because the company had been so successful with its product, the Rayette Wave. Now, the company specialized in selling hair care products directly to salons and beauty supply companies until 1961, when they introduced Aqua Net, which within 4 years became the best-selling product in the history of hair care products. With Aqua Net, your hair could be molded to look like this or this. I mean, look at it. I just want to squeeze it. Now, Rayette needed a spokesperson to sell Aqua Net to the public, so who else to turn to but the Three Stooges?
This is it. What is it? It's about time.
It's Aqua Net hairspray for women.
And girls.
Anyone can give a girl flowers.
The product then had a giant resurgence in the 1980s with the big hair movement. It also sold well with glam rock stars and punk rockers. However, at this point, Aqua Net was facing stiff competition from Mousse. This product was introduced in North America by L'Oreal in 1980. It had existed previously in France, and that's where it gets its name from. Mousse is actually the French word for foam.
Go ahead, play every day with style and a touch of color, because pizzazz washes out in one shampoo.
Almost immediately, Mousse became one of the biggest selling products in hair care. In 1984, Mousse was pulling in over $100 million worth of sales in the United States. And by 1986, sales were over $200 million. However, hair care historians mark 1987 as the beginning of the decline of the sales of Mousse. Unfortunately, people started worrying about the look of the big hair as well as its effect on the environment, and sales of Mousse and Aqua Net plummeted. So we all went natural and used the sun to dye our hair with sun in.
Red channel for softness, a super for flair, a new natural lemon puts sun in your hair. A little spritz does it, the sun does the rest. For natural looking summer hair, sun in's the best.
I know a lot of you use this product. Speaking of hair dye, here's Nice and Easy with an ad that says, if your best friend tells you that coloring your hair is bad for your hair, then maybe she's not your best friend.
New Nice and Easy by Clairol.
Introduced in 1965, Nice and Easy was the very first at-home box hair dye. This changed the world for women that wanted to dye their hair. No longer did you have to be rich to afford having a salon dye your hair. You could buy a box of this at your local drugstore and change your hair color. And overnight, we went from a society with gray-haired old grandmas to black-haired old grandmas.
My gray hair makes me feel so old. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wash that gray right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that gray right out.
In the 1950s, just 7% of American women dyed their hair. And so it was thought of as something that only actresses or promiscuous women did. And so Nice and Easy did a campaign where they didn't bring out actresses, they didn't bring out models, they brought out regular women. And they said, look, I dye my hair, encouraging more and more women to believe that it was okay for them to dye their hair. Head & Shoulders, introduced by Procter & Gamble in 1961, became the best-selling shampoo in the world. There's a wacky packages for Head & Shoulders. It's Head and Boulders.
My pretty baby loves Head & Shoulders shampoo. It really, really, really works.
There was a series of athlete-driven ads for Head & Shoulders called Get With a Winner, and they would show people like right here, Wilt Chamberlain, or golfer Billy Casper. Can Head & Shoulders stop dandruff? Can Johnny Unitas throw the bomb? Here's baseball player Harmon Killebrew. We talked about him in the Mall of America, which they built on the site of the old Minnesota Twin Stadium. They actually have a seat that he hit with a home run, and it's right above their log flume ride. WWE fans may remember that Head and Shoulders figured into the end of a match at the King of the Ring 1998. Al Snow, a wrestler who would carry around a mannequin head like this, and this was his tag team partner Head, who couldn't be pinned because she had no shoulders. So Brian Christopher stuck a bottle of Head and Shoulders underneath there and then was able to pin her. That's how she lost.
Head and Shoulders. The dandruff shampoo? Yeah, that's the stuff. The active ingredient is selenium sulfite.
Fighting the alien menace can be tough work.
And so is keeping your hair clean, shiny, and dandruff-free.
So it's a good thing that we always keep a healthy supply of Head and Shoulders around the house.
Beautiful. I want to wear that everywhere. She's looking for something that people will notice, but she already has it.
What would you name a shampoo and a conditioner that not only get a girl's hair clean and shiny?
Gee, your hair smells terrific.
1976, a shampoo was introduced called Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific. This shampoo, they said, smelled like flowers and bubble gum. It was designed to smell terrific. It was extremely popular at first, but then slowly waned off. And by the 80s, it was starting to die out. But it's still produced in the Philippines, where it is still massively popular. The Simpsons had a number of parodies on this, including Gee, Your Lip Looks Hairless. And Springfield is the location for the Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific arena. Wacky Packages chimed in with Gee, Your Hair Smells Horrific. I want to talk about Breck shampoo. This was invented by Dr. John Breck in 1931. The idea behind this shampoo was that every woman was different. They had 3 different labels and categories: D for dry hair, O for oily hair, and N for normal hair. They hired an artist named Charles Gate Sheldon, who painted pictures of the Breck girls. Now, he didn't want models. He didn't want actresses. He wanted regular women. This is Roma Whitney Armstrong, who at age 17 became the very first Breck girl in 1937. That's Kim Basinger with her mom. Again, this is a painting that was done of them, and she was the Breck girl in 1972 and 1974. Some years had more than one Breck girl, and 1974 also had Brooke Shields. Here's a parody from Mad Magazine featuring Ringo Starr. The name joke was obvious, and that's what Wacky Packages went with as well.
Beer-enriched body on tap shampoo gives your hair super body, super hold.
Brewed with 1/3 real beer.
Wow.
But don't drink it.
This was made with 1/3 Budweiser beer, but Budweiser did not want their name associated in any way with a non-drinkable shampoo product, so they asked that it only say that it was made with 1/3 beer. Here's the Wacky Packages parody, Booze on Tap. Have you heard of a dry shampoo? Well, here's one you would spray into your hair. It was called Psst. Big shout out to everybody on Patreon. For just $3, you can sign up, and I'll send you a postcard in the mail every month. Be like Cheese God, Michael and Jessica, Awkward But Awesome, Chris, and Matthew David Chapin. It's a fun group. You want to belong. You get a bottle of Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific for $80. Here's their sweepstakes. Let's learn what we could have won. Grand prize was $10,000, a 6-day trip to Los Angeles or Louisiana. I'm not sure what, probably Los Angeles. Be a star, be Miss Terrific. Look at that. There she is. You could become Miss Terrific. Man, if I could go back in time and become Miss Terrific, how different my life would be. Look at this, the travel sized. I need an Aqua Net that'll fit in my purse. Well, truthfully, I remember how big pocketbooks were back then. You could fit this in it. There was no problem fitting that in your pocketbook. Here's Donna Mills for the Glamour Sweepstakes of Aqua Net. Look at this. You could get his and hers Berettas. You're driving around in matching cars. Wait, is this real? Play-Doh Aqua Net? Aqua Net for kids? What the heck is this? Here's a baby Breck girl. Look at her. And I just tried Breck again, and wow, look, she's standing in front of her own advertisement. Man, that's something I would do if I was on an ad. Look at this guy. He's like, that's her. Oh my, ooh. Now, here's a hair treatment I was recently reading about. Women used to, and some still do, have Sweet and Low added to their shampoo. Because apparently they thought that Sweet and Low would make it gentler on their scalp. This apparently is not true, by the way. Online, they're like, don't do this. Although I bet the Sweet and Low people are like, might as well try it. Why not? Buy a bunch of Sweet and Low. I dug into the history of Sweet and Low. That is a fantastic product, an American-made product made by a guy who really was thinking outside the box, invented the sugar packet, and then invented Sweet and Low. You can learn all about Sweet and Low by clicking right up here. Otherwise, YouTube says that is what is best for you. Check out the second channel, and I'll see you next time.